Hey honey, you want to hear about some hot balls? Of course you do, because it's a weird sciencey fact that boggles my mind. I feel like space, bees, and mushrooms seem to be the three most reoccurring topics in this series, and we're going to chalk another one up for the bees. If you can't stand the heat, stay out of the kitchen is probably a phrase you've heard from somebody who at one point in their life sported beehive hair. But the most appropriate application you could probably use that phrase for would be about beehives themselves. See, bees are like if you took a bunch of the Marvel characters and rolled them up into a single bug. They can see ultraviolet light, they have a better sense of smell than a bloodhound, they can navigate using electromagnetic fields, and they fly on mini tornadoes they create with their wings. But it turns out you can add being the not-so-human torch to the list of their superpowers. Because a honeybee's a chef that can cook like a bee. To make honey, you gotta dehydrate some nectar, and to do that, they turn the heat in the hive up to 95 degrees, and then they fan it with their wings to air it out. But how do you turn up the heat without a thermostat? It's all about having the right vibe. With the speed that honeybees can vibrate their wings, they don't need to worry about a utility bill because they're hot enough to heat up the house all on their own. If you've ever wondered if honeybees hibernate or how they survive the winter, well, they just keep vibing. They keep that hive at 95 all year round. But if you thought keeping the hive hot and cooking up something sweet and sticky with their good vibrations was impressive, you should see them when they're angry, because you wouldn't like them when they're angry. At least if you're a hornet or a wasp. See, we all know that honeybees are great and hornets and wasps are assholes. Well, honeybees make the world a better place by spreading the love, quite literally. Hornets and wasps, not so much, and honeybees for them are a good snack. But the Japanese honeybees came up with an interesting defense to not end up as dinner, and it comes in the form of hot balls. When a hornet enters the Japanese honeybee's hive, the honeybees go straight up Blue Mountain State and dogpile him. They form a ball around the bad guy, and they turn up the heat from comfort to cooker. They Hansel and Gretel the hornet. They teach that hornet that if you can't stand the heat, you should stay out of the kitchen. The hornets and wasps will die at about 116 degrees Fahrenheit, but the hot-headed honeys can handle over 120 degrees. Now, this is a defense that Japanese honeybees learned because they got like murder hornets and shit in that part of the world, and they needed to learn how to murder the murder hornets. But European honeybees, on the other hand, haven't had as much to worry about. That was until they were introduced to Asia, and they've really only become prevalent there about 50 years ago. But apparently the European honeybees didn't take very long to find their Mr. Miyagi and learn how to wax on and wax off, or at the very least make some hot balls. And as honeybees from every part of the world have been transported to every other part of the world now, Japanese honeybees have been introduced to all kinds of regions where they never existed and never had to deal with murder hornets, but have taught them their ways. So this behavior is becoming a more prevalent defense mechanism for all types of bees, not just the Japanese. And it seems like it's effective. I haven't read any downsides about it yet, so that's pretty cool. And the fact that bunches of bees will bolt to make balls to boil the bastards that would burgle their babies, well, that is pretty mind-boggling.